Good evening. I'd like to share with you this evening, to start off, two ideas from the Chavetz Chaim. The first one deals with Kalev and Yehoshua. Yehoshua became Kol Yashiacha Me'atzis Meraglim. Yehoshua is given added to Hoshea ben Nun, he had the Kol. Rashi says there that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Moshe Rabbeinu gave him the name because he wanted to see that he would be safe from anything that might happen. Kalev also went with Yehoshua to Eretz Yisrael. He was given no name change. And we just see one difference in what happened with Kalev and with Yehoshua. And that is that Kalev went through the Kivrei Yehoshua didn't. So, Chavetz Chaim says, why? Why does Yehoshua have a name change? Kalev has nothing. And yet Kalev goes to Kivrei. So he makes this interesting consideration. He says the following, that when dealing with Rishoyim, there are two different ways in Avodas Hashem. One is to be outspoken. You know where I stand, and that's it. And I'm not going to be I'm not going to be involved. I'm not going to be influenced. Just keep your distance. That was Yehoshua. That's a milah. What's the milah? Because exactly. The milah is its own concern. And the milah is he's not going to be influenced, just that. But what could happen is that the people he's dealing with could damage his property, could injure him, or God forbid even more. So therefore, it was necessary, says the Chavetz Chaim, to give a name change of Kah to Yehoshua. Now, Kalev was a different person. And Moshe made him realize that. And he was quiet. He could, if he decided, to remain quiet, to even associate with people who he disagreed with and disagreed with their philosophy and their shittim. And then if he decided to come out, as Kalev did, Vayas Kalev es and he quieted everybody. And that's not all that Amram did. He raised his name very attentively. And what's he going to add to whatever the others are saying? He split the Yamsuf. He brought the swab. Different story. And don't worry, we can go. Oh, that's a different story. So now, with Kalev, the milah is just what happened now. He's quiet until he decides to surface. The chasarim is that he may be influenced. Chavetz Chaim is like a person standing in the cold. In the beginning, after a while, the cold starts to penetrate. And this could be the same thing could happen, to Kalev here. So what happened? Kalev went to Kivrei Spalel, that he should have the type of Haganah, the type of protection that the others could give him. Yehoshua didn't need it, Kalev did, and that's what happened. The Chavetz Chaim explains. So now we have an understanding of what happened. He brings the Gemara in Krisis. The Gemara in Krisis says that most of the time in Chumash, in Tanakh, Yehoshua's name is mentioned before Kalev. And one more time, Kalev's name is mentioned before. To show, Sheshkulamani. They were equivalent. So, Chavetz Chaim says, but we know they weren't. Yehoshua became the Manik of Klal Yisrael. No one else came to match him. So what is meant that they're equivalent? He's saying that their Jerochim are equivalent. If a person feels that he can handle the outspoken approach, that's the way to go. And if he doesn't, he can take the other approach. If he feels that he will not be subverted, he will not be influenced, then the approach of a Kalev. A person has to know when to take a stand, and he has to know when to take a seat. And that's the way it goes. That's the Chavetz Chaim. The Chavetz Chaim also says, so there's one vort that I'm sure you've heard before, and there's another one as well I want to share from the Chavetz Chaim. We hear this idea of, and both are Emes. Just have to know how it works, but I bother both are Emes. We felt like grasshoppers, said the Meraglim, and so were we in their eyes. So the Forshim say, the way a person feels about himself and projects himself, that's the way other people are going to look at him. So if I feel like a grasshopper, that's the way people will look at me. And therefore, just know that. So you want to be careful about the when you want to project yourself, just know that that makes a big difference of how you carry yourself, etc. No, not like this, but in a way which projects yourself in an appropriate way. All right? You are going to influence the way people look at you. That's one derech. The Chavetz Chaim says the following. Brings a medrash, and the medrash says, "I'm mivater on what you said at first," says the Kadosh Baruch Hu, but not on the second part of the statement. The first part is, we felt like we were grasshoppers in the presence of the Chagavim. By the way, I know there's a Gemara in Sotah that says, how did they know what did the giants, how did they look at them? Because they were in the trees, and they heard the giants speaking from the trees, so they knew it was something. Apparently, this medrash is either chaylik on it or whatever. That is not explained. But this medrash says the following: I accept the first thing you said. I'm mevater. You felt that way. You felt it. But the second, no. In other words, the fact that you feel like something, Hashem is saying, I decide to give a person chen. If I decide to give a person chen, it doesn't make any difference of how he feels about himself. The emphasis is he should know that he can be beloved and he can be respected and he can be considered choshev by other people. And it doesn't come across the projected that he's going to cause people to feel that way about him, the way he feels about himself. The fact is, HaKadosh Baruch Hu decides often as to how a person is going to come across to other people. So that's what Chavetz Chaim says here. So I think that about both things are true. How they, one has to understand how they apply, when they apply, but came to high. Okay. The next piece is a fantastic Siva Shalom. It's Meir Einai. How much time do we have? Okay. And the Siva Shalom says the following. By in Shishi, Vayadaber Hashem Moshe Lemor Daber Bnei Yisrael V'Amartu Lehem. The Voachem Haaretz, immediately when you come to Eretz Yisrael, you don't even have to wait for Shiva Shekipshu, Shiva Shechok. No, right away. Asher ani meviya, when you're going to come to the Haaretz, Asher ani mevi eschem shama, where I'm bringing you. I want to look at this pasuk. All of them go in this area. I'll give you the first one right now. The fact is this: when an Adam Gadol, I'll say it this way, there are many levels of ways to look at things. I mean, we can look at slow signal, meaning don't put your hand in somebody's pockets and take it away as things. We can look at slow signal as if don't kidnap. We can look upon those signal as don't different levels, and there are different levels in all mitzvahs. There are also different levels how on Nashim Gadol look at the world. When Shlomo Zalman looked at the world as he walked in the street, everything became a hechatimsa of a halachic consideration. When he looked at a roof, it became a makeh. Over there, doesn't need a makeh, doesn't need a makeh. Whatever it is, the world is looked at differently. It's like when a non-Jewish person saw two people in a building, in a municipal building in Chicago. He came over to them, he said, "You're Jewish?" "Yes, we are Jewish." "Oh, well, you're the first Jews I ever saw. Let me ask you a question. Well, you are the children of God, so it says in my religion. You're the children of God. When you walk in the street and you think of things, do you think about the same things we do? Or do you think about other things?" That's the way he looked at us. Very often there are non-Jews who do look at us that way instead of the other way, at least for a while, whatever. However, the point is that a Yid, he thinks in a different way. And therefore, when this is the following, this person, a Adam Gadol, looks at things in even something that other people don't. So here, the Nesiv Shalom says, besides, Ein Adam Yotzei Midei Pshuta, but the Voachem al Haaretz means when you come to physicality, when you come to materialism, I'm bringing you there. Don't think that when you have a taiva for something, when you have a desire for something, that's necessarily the Yetzer Hara. Fakir, I can be the one doing this. And you want to eat something good, because I want, says the Baal Shem Tov, that you're going to bring the Nitzotzos HaKadoshim out of it. There are sparks of Kedusha. And when something is eaten with a bracha, for the right intention of serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, from the particular thing and is mekayim that Indian as such. And this is the way that every person does. So when I learns Eretz is not Eretz Yisrael necessarily, it's anything that has to do with physicality. Teruma Truma Hashem. Let there be Truma that comes to a Kadosh Baruch Hu from that. This is an idea too. Reishis Arisoi Seichem Chala Terimu Truma. From the beginning of your kneading, make a arisa. In other words, from anything that you are doing in all of the physical things, you can bring a truma to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. And from Reishis makes a difference. Even if, let's take the example, the Mishnah Berurah brings down, in Kol Kol Nesef L'Shem Shemayim, a person sits down to eat, you should be saying, Anshe Ma'aseh, do what he says, Hareini Eichel, the shows that Kadesh Yeh Baruch Chazak La'avodas HaBarei Yisparach Shema. I want to be strong to be able to, and healthy to do the will of God. Now, what happens if you can't hold that focus for the whole meal? It's okay. When I say okay, it'd certainly be better to have that focus for everybody. However, a person is, if he deals with Reishis, he starts off that way, that is going to be something to add. Kadosh Baruch Hu considers choshev even for the whole meal if he started off the right way. The same thing. Rosh Hashanah, Kedushas Hazman. For Rosh Hashanah, a person starts the whole year is Nichol in Rosh Hashanah. The whole month is Nichol in Rosh Chodesh. Shabbos is Nichol in the whole week. Shabbos is not only the seventh day of one week, it is also the beginning, so to speak, of the other, and it infuses the next 6 days with Kedusha. That is the way it is. The way a person starts out the day it makes a difference for the whole day. And interestingly enough, the Nesiv Shalom says, Ariso Seichem, which can mean not only a kneading of dough, it can also mean, an oris can also mean a bed. The way we get up out of bed makes the difference for the day. But also, why do you have Ariso Seichem twice? Because there's another part of getting up in the morning. That's how you go to sleep at night. A person who makes sure that he goes to sleep. A person's not going to get up like a lion if he goes to sleep like a dog. That's clear. And therefore, a person goes to sleep with krishma on his lips, with amap. A person goes to sleep at a good time. He doesn't chill out for too long, because when that happens, he gets up in the morning, just can't get himself going the way he wants to. So these are all the things that when we look at these two, of course, ain't a pasuk yotzimidei pshuto. At the same time, there are levels of psukim, levels of understanding, and this is one of the ways. It's a beautiful thing to take a look inside in the Nesiv Shalom on this pasuk, and we can appreciate all that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us in all these different ways. Abu Shabbos.